Hi, welcome to Banking Carp. My name's Nicky Lewis. I'm going to run you through what I'm doing. Basically, just preparing my rod. Just stuck a lead core leader on, camouflage, multicoloured, so really suits any bottom of the lake, no matter what venue you're on, which I pretty like. With a Fox safety lead weight clip. Just if you hit weed, it'll bolt off like that. Simple as.
What are the advantages of using lead clips, Nick, to instead of using running leads, fixed leads, etc.?
Well, basically this really does pin it right down to the bottom because it's right by your leader, right by your rig, sorry. And it's a safety bolt, because you hit the weed and then bang, it comes off straight away, which is, I find, really, really good.
So what does that do to the protection of the carp and the health of the carp?
Well, if your line snapped off, or say for example you're on a big one, say 20 pound or something, well, it doesn't really matter what size the fish, but a good fish, and you hit a load of weed, that's just going to come off, and it's not going to, if you then snap off, it's not.
So it's just straight contact with you and the fish with no lead hitting it in the face, etc.
Exactly.
Okay. What rig, what hook length are you going to put on there?
I'm going for about 5" today. I've just made one up before we started the film. This is a nice rig case that I buy. It's a leader case. So I've got my rig in here, which I'm going to pop on now.
Explain to us what these bars are for here, Nicky, and
these are for
pins.
Keeping your rigs tight, so you don't get no tangles, no kinks in them, for keeping your rig really nice and tight. So they're really good, That's just a choddy leader, which is not really any good for what we're doing today. Just going to get my nice rig on here now. Choose the right one. That's what I'm doing. I've got it. That will make me happy today.
Right, now I understand these are already pre-tied rigs. Can you catch carp on pre-tied rigs?
Yeah. Last time I had five carp on that. I had my PB on that one there. This rig right here had my personal best. Just a micro barbed hook, probably about a size 6 gaper fang. Comes down to just a normal swivel which attaches onto my quick change system on my leader. So that'll just go on there now. I'll show you now. Takes 2 seconds to get on and off. And that's on. And you could change that within seconds.
What's the chances of that coming off that little clip there?
It ain't going to come off.
No?
No. It's 10 times harder to come off than what it is to put on.
Yeah.
And that's a definite, that is. Now, I'll take you through my bait, what I'm using. Just a normal 50-50 point dynamite bait. Lovely. Breaks up, beautiful. And if you could smell that, it smells gorgeous. Really does. See, it crumbles up really, really nice. It's 50-50, which means, if you're not sure what 50-50 means, it means pop up and bottom bait. So you haven't just got a dead bottom bait on the floor, it's got a little bit of buoyancy to it. So
critically balanced?
Yeah, pretty much. I like to fish just bottom baits, mine, but I do also like, a bit of a buoyant bait, which, I got some pineapples there, which is just a bottom bait. I have fished them, but for this venue, I know a 50-50 will work pretty good, because I've achieved on it. So I'm going to get a nice fresh one out of the pot. Put on my hair rig today. Which are 50-50 hook baits, 15mm, the sauce.
And how slowly do they sink? Without being on the hook? Do they sink to the bottom, or will they slowly sink and then slowly rise again?
They'll slowly sink, so it lays your rig out pretty slow. Instead of it just slamming down like that, it'll bring it down and it'll lie it really presentable on the lake bed.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put this on now. And then as my hair stop, using my baiting needle, as my hair stop, just pull that through nice and slowly so you don't break it. As my hair stop, I'm going to use an artificial maggot. Because I got maize out there, so I'm going to use a yellow maggot. I got maize, which I did show you earlier on in the film, that my spod mix. And that's got lots of haze in it, sinking haze. I got an easy way to get these through. It's advantaged again. Just use your baiting needle, hook it like that, just pierce it through like that, and grab it through on your hair. You just stretch it front like that. It'd be a nightmare sometimes on the ready tied rigs because of the size of the hair loop. But like that. Takes a little bit of fiddling. If you've got small hands, be a very easy job. And that is it. And that is very, very good. Now, to the casting point. What I always do, always, have a bucket of water here, and I'll just check my rigs to see how they sit in the water before I put it in. And if you could see what I could see, it's sitting just nice. The hook's flat. I don't know if you can see that in the water, but it's sitting just right. But just to make sure, I'm just going to put a little lead shot on. Just to make sure it's sitting right, but to be honest, I'm pretty sure it's sitting right. Confident in myself. Just going for a super soft lead shot. Just nice and easy to put on there. Pop that on. Because the lead shot's a bit reflective, so I don't want to take that risk because I would really love to have a fish today. So I'll just cover that with a bit of Corda putty.
What's that
Dark
now?
matter. Dark matter putty.
Yep. What colour is that? Gravel brown, weedy green?
Gravel brown.
Gravel brown.
So,
are these products expensive to buy?
No, the gravel brown's probably about £4, but it does last. It's basically best way of describing it. It's recyclable. It's you have that putty on your rig there now to keep your rig pinned down to the bottom for, I don't know, so 10 hours. You pull it out, exactly the same. Use it over and over and over again. If you looked after the thing and if you didn't get no snags in that little bit of putty would last you for months. Right, to the casting point. Earlier on I made some nice PVA sticks out of my spod mix because it's PVA friendly. I got a nice one there now. As you can see, that's juiced up really, really nicely. Smells really nice. It's a similar smell. I don't know if you're into horses, but horses have a licorice lick, and it really has that strong licorice smell. It hasn't been that active for me yet, I'll be honest. I haven't caught anything. This is my first day using this mix. It's from Cotswold, so if I have a fish today, I won't doubt it, but not worked the best for me today.
Just explain to us how there you've got it threaded onto the hook. You got it threaded onto the hook there.
Well, basically
instead of sliding it down the leader. What's the advantages of that, or disadvantages?
Well, that'll land now, and that will spread really nicely around your hook bait, and it'll dissolve within 5 seconds, and you'll have a nice patch of hook bait around your boilie. And it'll gives off a really, really nice cloud in the water. It's like an oily effect. When oil hits water, it spreads like a big cloud. Let's get this cast in. I hate having a rig out of the water.
No fish and the rigs are out.
No, definitely not. Any angler should know. Try and keep your rigs in most of the time. If you're doing like a 48-hour session, it's good. Don't be too hard on yourself. Go for food or something and leave the swim. Have a couple of hours, few hours break on like a 48-hour session. Especially if you're there throughout a week, you should give it a few sessions where no lines in the water, so you're giving the swim a break. You don't want too much pressure on the swim. There's an inlet. I'll just describe why I'm going to cast over here now. There's an inlet water over there, really known good to have fish coming in and seeing what's there. So I'm just going to cast this out, but I'm going to go close to this island again today now. Always keep your arms straight and lever down with this arm into your stomach. So just like that. And just a nice small thing. Just clip that up because it didn't quite go further enough. So clip that up. That's clipped up. Ready for next time. Always try and sink your line as best as you can. Don't have your clutch too tight.
Why do you sink the lines, Nicky?
Because I got sinking Nash line on. It's called Camo from Nash, really good product. Basically, it's one of the first lines that's been known to be more or less invisible in the water. So, the more I can sink that, the better chance you're not going to have from spooking the fish. The last thing you want is your rods to be on your indicators and you spook. You have a couple of liners and you spook the fish. You don't want that. Yep. Well, that